Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today and I'm Tanya Aneja. Well, budget is over, earnings season is almost over, and it is now important to understand that where are the markets headed in the near term and where are the pockets of strength. And we'll come to that in a bit, but first let's take a quick market check. So we started the lower today amid weak global cues, and if you see the levels at this point in time, Sensex down over 203 points at 60,602 is what where we are at this point in time, and Nifty also trading 60 points lower at 17,831. Now let's get you some of the gainers and the top losers in the today's trading session. So if you look at some of the gainers today, Adani Group stocks. So basically Adani Group stocks continue to be in focus following a notification from MSCI, and Adani Ports is trading higher in today's trading session, up almost to the tune of 1% at 590. Other than Adani Ports, we have HDFC Life and some of the other gainers like SBI, Hero MotoCorp, Cipla, UPL. These are among the other top gainers on your screens. And if we see the top losers, we have IT stocks that are not doing really well in today's trading session. We have HCL Tech, we have metal stocks as well that are also trading lower in today's trading session. Look at Hindalco, Tata Steel down to the tune of 2% today. Reliance also trading lower in today's trading session, down almost to the tune of 1%. And we have FMCG stocks as well. They are also not supporting the markets today. And apart from that, if you look at some sectoral indices, so basically we have three indexes that are doing really well today, that are not doing well today. We have Nifty Metal, which is not supporting the markets today. It's down to the tune of 1%. So metal stocks are not really supporting the market at this point in time. We have Nifty IT. IT stocks are also under pressure. Remember, IT stocks have been doing pretty well in the last 1 month, but today IT stocks are really not supporting the markets, and FMCG also down to the tune of 1%. On the flip side, we have banking stocks. Look at some of the PSU banking stocks, and they are doing really well in today's trading session, up to the tune of 1%. Private banks, in fact, also up in the trade today. Nifty Pharma, and then auto index. Auto stocks are also doing well. And apart from these sectors, financial services are also supporting the markets. But as I mentioned earlier, Adani Group stocks continue to be in focus. Now, this is after a notification from MSCI. So MSCI will cut the weightings of 4 Adani Group companies, including the flagship firm Adani Enterprises and Adani Total Gas, Adani Transmission and ACC. And on the back of this news, the Adani Group companies' stocks continue to be in focus. And where are these stocks headed, and what's next for Adani Group stocks? We'll also come to that. But now let's go across to our guest on the show today. We have with us Mr. Kranthi Bathini from WealthMills Securities. Thank you so much, Mr. Bathini, for taking the time out and joining us here on Business Today Television.
Thank you, Tanya. Always pleasure for me to share my views on your news channel.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Bathini, first of all, where are the markets headed in the near term? And if you see, the markets are range bound. Okay, we are stuck in a range as we speak. So, where are the markets headed in the near term, and which are the key triggers to watch out for?
Tanya, if you see the market has been a range bound from quite a long time. And
Right.
as long as Nifty sustains above 17,800 range, it's a positive indication markets are in a positive territory. But how long? We need to see the major overhangs on the market, US Federal Reserve,
Right.
FOMC interest rate hike, and the domestic budget, and also Indian monetary policy. All the key major events are over with respect to macro level indicators are concerned. And all these indicators are quite positive towards the markets and towards the economy. There is no apprehension with respect to inflation. In a way, the policymakers across the globe, they are giving more importance to the growth, and growth is clearly visible across the globe. It can be Asia Pacific pack, European pack, and US, especially in India also, we are the prospects of growth are completely witnessed right now. So going ahead, inflation also can cool down. So RBI, our Monetary Policy Committee meeting can maintain the status quo of keeping the interest rates at the current stance. That's what the anticipation. I don't think so. There will be a more emphasis towards increasing the interest rates, continuing the interest rate cycle in the coming days. So overall, markets are range bound right now. We have witnessed a decent earning season. There are no uh, disappoints with respect to the earning season is concerned, but we can see some kind of inflationary pressure on most of the companies right now. So this is the current scenario right now. That's the reason overhang is there. But FIS are still continue to be the net sellers. They have sold throughout the January month, but they have the buying traction is not coming right now with respect to the FI buying is concerned. This is the overhang on the markets right now. Uh, right now, as markets are stable and and what we can witness is this kind of consolidation phase. Market can spend time-wise correction also for some more time.
Okay, that's the word coming in. And now coming to the Adani bag, Mr. Bathini. So if you see, Adani Group stocks are also in focus. And if you look at Adani Enterprises, the stock is now trading actually on a flattish note today. But it is actually up to the tune of, I think, 100% from its 52-week low. So it has recovered significantly. And if you look at some other stocks as well, ACC, Adani Ports as well. So Adani Ports is also, Adani Ports stock is also trading in higher today, almost 1% higher as we speak. Adani Power is, however, down 5%, and Adani Transmission also down to the tune of 5%. So what are your thoughts on this entire Adani pack, and where are these stocks headed according to you in the near term?
Tanya, if you see the flagship company Adani Enterprises, the
Yeah.
stock fell down from 4,000 level to a low of 1,017 a week back. So, and from 1,017, the stock is around 2,000 rupees. So, the stock almost all given 100% return from its low,
Right.
and from the peak, if you see the stock is down 50% from its peak. So it shows the nature of these stocks. They are high beta in nature, and also the activity of this stock, as everyone aware, the free public float in this stock is completely very minuscule. If I have to tell, just to give a figure, there are 2 lakh as per the recent shareholding pattern. There are 2,53,000 folios are there, and the promoter owns on an around 73%, and the public float is 2%. On 2,53,000, 2%, which translates around 5,000 retail investors. That's the official data that shows. But we need to see, and one of the reason when the FPO, when the Adani Enterprises came into the picture, they have been they have discussed also. Uh, they want to increase this broad base of retail investors, but still, this broad base of retail investors is going up or not is the bigger question we need to see. But as on date, okay, if any kind of these adverse or positive news that comes on the stock on day wise, every day, one day there is a positive news is coming, one day there is a negative news is coming. So when these kind of unusual news flow that comes, these stocks tend to behave in an unusual manner. That's what clearly we are witnessing in Adani Group shares. So the investors with a high risk appetite, okay, they can only venture into these kind of stocks when the stocks are swinging these kind of moves. So for a common retail investors who are risk averse, this is not the space for them to adventure in this kind of stock. But a person who likes the volatility, who takes the risk, okay, for them with a strict stop loss kind of thing, okay, or for these stocks, stop loss also, gauging the stop loss also, sometimes it's very absolutely difficult to gauge the stop losses when a stock swings around 30% down, 30% up. So high risk appetite traders only, they can look into stocks and play around these stocks.
Absolutely, and as you rightly pointed out, Mr. Bathini, and because of this, perhaps we are seeing this tug of war that is happening between bears and bulls. But also, I would like to understand from you about this notification coming in from MSCI. So, what does this really mean? I mean, especially for all these four Adani Group companies, Adani Enterprises, the Adani Total Gas, Adani Transmission, and ACC.
See, whenever a stock uh, excluded in the first of all, I talks about inclusion. Okay, whenever any stock that get into MSCI inclusion, okay, there will be a joy for the traders because the company is going to receive some extra kind of funds whenever
Right.
there is a tactical trade that happens globally, or whenever the FII flows that comes into particular MSCI index. Whenever the weightage of these shares goes up, they are bound to see some kind of heightened buying activity, buying interest in those particular counters. So that makes the demand for the stock, and that will absorb the supply of the stock, and we can witness the price increase in those kind of stocks. Stocks get excluded from these kind of indices, the incremental flows that comes into these particular stocks, they are going to curtail. Right now, as there is a negative news around the Adani Group space right now, when the weightage of these stocks that comes down in the MSCI index, definitely the incremental inflows will going to take a greater beating. That is the reason stocks responded in a negative way. And whenever these kind of newses that surprises and surfaces in the news, normally stocks tend to behave in a negative way. But
Okay.
it's not the clear indication as the fundamentals of these companies changed because of including in the MSCI index or excluding in the MSCI index. It matters for the fundamentals? Definitely no. But incremental fund flows get impacted because of these kind of including in a indices or excluding in a indices.
Absolutely. And now let's talk about the new age tech stocks. I mean, they are also in focus. And Paytm had rallied actually 27% this week so far. However, the stock is down today. It is down to the tune of 7% now. And Zomato also is in focus. So Zomato is down to the tune of 3% today, and it actually posted its number yesterday, and the company actually slipped deeper into the red in the December quarter. So basically, the company posted a net loss of 347 crore rupees compared with a loss of 63 crore rupees a year ago. So, what are your thoughts on these new age tech companies? I mean,
Tanya,
is
when
it
these
the right
stocks,
time now
yeah,
to step in?
yeah. Tanya, if you see these in stocks, when they were listing a year back or 18 months back, there was a buzz around all these stocks. Okay, and
Right.
in fact, when the stocks were not listed, there was a lot of euphoria around the stocks, and people have been buying in unlisted space also. These stocks, there is a lot of buzz around this stock. As these stocks got listed, and what we witnessed is these stocks got chopped and got corrected more than 50% in some counters. There was a euphoria when the stocks get listed and are before listing. After the stocks are available in the markets, there was not much buying interest that came into these stocks. Especially coming to Paytm, this quarter, the stock shown a positive traction. We can see a indication of fundamental indicators that are moving in a positive direction. The company is turning cash flows into positive zone. So some kind of positive indicators we are witnessing in Paytm. Uh, but the worry for the retail investors or uh, most of the investors is when the stock down more than 50-60% from its peak price, there is a tendency of some kind of uh, you can say aversion towards those kind of counters. And stock market in stock market always price changes the perception of the people. Whenever the price changes in a positive zone, there is a positive perception. Whenever there is a the price changes in a negative zone, there is always a negative perception. So right now, the perception of the people, that's very important. That's called translates into sentiment on the stocks was negative. But But the valuations looks very attractive a month back. And what we witnessed is the stocks have been moving significantly after making their lower bases and moving from their low price. But a high risk appetite investor only for long term, as the stocks are corrected a lot and the positive indicators are emerging towards the stock like Paytm. A long term investor definitely they can start investing in these stocks at dips in a very staggered manner. I don't advocate them go and jump and buy in their portfolio in a staggered manner as in a longer term basis. They can accumulate since the valuations seems to be attractive still at these price valuations. Coming to Zomato, still the same kind of story, but they have to turn their cash flows into positive, and the profitability is extremely important. These kind of companies. So as long as they are not turning profitable, uh, these kind of overhang would be there on these stocks.
Okay, that's the word coming in. And also also Mr. Bathini, now coming to LIC stock. So this company is also in focus amid whole Adani crisis that is there. So LIC also posted a multifold growth in its profit, and the profit came in at 8,334 crore rupees for the December 2022 quarter. So what are your thoughts on LIC? And if you see the stock performance also, stock is actually trading in the green on the back of good set of numbers. So where is this stock headed in the near term?
If you see LIC, Tanya, it's not participated in the whole gamut of this PSU Bank rally. It can be PSU
Right.
Bank rally or public sector institutions rally. It was not participated. But before the listing, there was a lot of euphoria around LIC. The stock, it's a disappointed listing. And right now, the positive indicators are emerging for LIC also. So at this point of time, a long-term investor definitely they can consider life insurance corporation for an investment horizon. LIC will improve its dividend yields in the coming future. So for a long-term horizon, they cannot expect any miracles or great fireworks in these stocks in the medium term. But definitely for a longer-term horizon, LIC can be considered on one's radar for investment.
Okay, absolutely. And also, Mr. Badini, what about IT stocks? I mean, Nifty IT was the biggest wealth eroder in 2022 with a heavy loss of 26%. But now, if you see in the last 1 month, this index is actually up to the tune of 10%. So, where are these stocks headed? And now, do you think now is the time to step in and the valuations are looking attractive, especially after the significant correction that we have seen?
Okay, on our channel uh, 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 from a month when the IT shares have been in a consolidation phase, and this is the right time to cherry pick IT companies for an investor who is looking for a longer term horizon. If you see, the growth prospects of US looks promising right now. That's where the Federal Reserve commentary it says whenever there is a growth prospects of for US is looks good or in a negative way also. IT stocks are tend to take advantage of the strength and weakness of US economy. That one need to consider, and the stocks, what kind of stocks they're keeping in their portfolios also extremely important. So I prefer large cap IT companies in the portfolio rather than the small cap or mid cap IT companies. Large cap IT companies are came down nearly 20 to 30% from its peak. So stocks like Infosys and TCS for a longer term horizon, definitely investors can consider in their portfolio.
Okay, long term. Okay, so large cap IT companies should be on your list. And apart from IT companies, Mr. Bathini, PSU Banks, they have also like given stellar returns in 2022, and some of them even turned into multi-baggers as well. So, do you think that this space is also looking attractive, especially at this point in time, and these stocks can rally in the near term also?
Tanya,
Despite, yeah.
all these public sector banks, okay, they have rallied more than 100%.
Yeah, right.
in past 12 to 18 months. So I don't expect a greater fireworks going ahead. Probably they can deliver a mid-teen kind of return. I don't expect any kind of multi-bagger kind of returns in these stocks, but they are fairly valued at this time. The worst is over for these stocks. Worst is behind for these stocks. As the prospects of the economy improves, their loan book can improve. Their gross margins can go up in the coming days. So for a longer term horizon, definitely one can stick to the large cap PSU bank names like a State Bank of India. One can consider at every dip adding into their portfolio going ahead.
Okay, absolutely. And lastly, Mr. Bathini, before we let you go, where are the pockets of strength at this point in time? And I mean, which are the sectors, themes that are looking attractive, especially for the near term?
Tanya, I can see some kind of trend that is emerging in infra space because these stocks are disappointed. The space disappointed from quite a long time. But now things are coming in their favor. So the stocks which are into engineering, construction, infra, capital goods, there is a greater emphasis is given towards this sector in the budget. Also, India is going to spend around 10 lakhs crores in terms of the infra spending is concerned. So these whole lot of stocks, preferably the large cap stocks, can show some traction going ahead. And also the stocks which are into defense, these stocks also rallied, but they're sustaining their gains with respect to the market performance is concerned. Any dip that comes into the market in defense stocks, one can cherry pick in defense space also.
Okay, absolutely. And on that wonderful note, thank you so much, Mr. Bathini, for taking the time out and joining us here on Business Today Television.
Always pleasure to speak to Tanya on your show.
Absolutely. So now let's take a quick market check before we end this edition of Market Today. So markets are actually trading lower at this point in time. 260 points gone on Sensex. 60,540 is where we are at this point in time, and Nifty also 70 points down there as well. 17,820 is the level as we speak, and IT stocks continue to be in pressure, and SBI, Power Grid, HDFC Bank on the other hand doing well in today's trading session. So with that, let's wrap up this edition of Market Today. Many thanks for tuning in.
When it comes to harnessing the power of sun, India